Hello and welcome back. It's puzzle time with Sudoku Sleuth, and today we're going to be playing Colourful Lines. Now, a while ago, I'm going to say 3 years ago, 4 years ago, I went to this modern art installation, and I raised my eyebrows because I'm generally not a fan of modern art. Been to the Tate Modern a few times. Some of it is not bad, but most of the time I don't really get it. Now, this particular art installation was all about like a light show. So they rented, not sure they even rented, they built this warehouse by the river, container-like thing, and just filled it with loads of images, projections, some of it abstract, as you can see in the thumbnail for today, some of it less abstract. But essentially, you just went there. There's a bunch of others enjoying the gallery, if you can call it that, or art installation. Sat down on the carpet for a bit and just looked around and walked out. Yeah, you can tell I wasn't particularly impressed. But hopefully today's puzzle will more than make up for the fact that it reminded me of this, because we're going to be taking a look at something called Colourful Lines. You're going to have to forgive the constructor, psninn, who has misspelt it, of course. There is no U in his colourful. Well, there is in full, but not in colour. I've of course corrected that mistake. Anyhow, enough of the introduction. Let's take a look at today's puzzle and rule sets. And I warn you, it is very colourful, or at least very colourful lines from psninn. And you can see kind of why the reminder and the abstract lines. I think I've made the right choice here. Now, I imagine that each of these are their own rules, and that there is a bunch of rules here that will explain it to us. So let's take a look through these. Did I want to mention anything before I do that? No, it was something on the top of my mind, but it's gone. Standard Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, every 3 by 3 box. Nothing unusual there. Every RENBAN line contains a set of consecutive digits in any order without repeats. Right, so I guess psninn is making the assumption that people are familiar with the different colors. So this purple line is typically the RENBAN. The green line that I'm going to highlight here is typically the German whisper line. The modular line is normally this sort of teal greenish color. And region sum line, although he hasn't given it a name. And so German whisper, modular line, region sum line, entropic line, and palindrome. I'm going to need a bit of help, actually. I'm not sure which is which. Let's have a look if his... There you go. That's because the colors are very... Let's see if this is legible for you guys. That's legible, so we're going to take the rules here. So the RENBAN line is purple. I'll walk you through that in a second. The German whisper line is the green. The 3 modular line is that. The entropic line is kind of the pink one. And region sum line. And then palindrome is these diagonals. Okay, got it. Right, quick reminder of all of these rules. So we'll start with the RENBAN. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cells. Essentially, these are the digits 1 to 9 without any repeats. I don't need to say a lot more about that. 2 cells connected by a German whisper line must have a difference of at least 5. So if this is a 2, this would have to be 7, 8, or 9, and 7, 8, or 9, so that they are indeed 5 or more away. Then back to 1, 2, 3, or 4. Admittedly not the 4, but I won't walk you through that. You're going to have to kind of do a bit of logic to figure that out. But low digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, high digits, 6, 7, 8, 9, oscillate back and forth. No 5s on German whisper lines. Another puzzle for the solver. So the modular line down here, essentially every... Yeah, right. So if essentially we have to have every 3 consecutive cells have to be have a different modulo 3 in them. So if you think about 3, 6, and 9, that's essentially modulo 0. They're perfectly divisible by 3. 1, 4, and 7, there is a modulo of 1. And then 2, 5, and 8, there is a modulo of 2. Now, obviously, they don't have to be in this order, but just went with it for this particular one. But essentially, every 3 consecutive ones have to be something along those lines. So that would mean that this cell would have to be 3, 6, or 9, so that they are indeed one of each modulo in every 3 consecutive cells on these lines. And then we have region sum line. So for each line, the digits on the line have an equal sum of n within each box it passes through. These are very abstract definitions. I don't know if this is like a reference back to the art installation psninn, but essentially these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells are going to add up to a value that you're going to have to come up with 2 digits to come up to the same sum. That's really what this particular region sum line is about. Entropic, essentially we're talking about lows, middles, and highs. So if you assume that this is 1, 2, or 3, this would have to be, it doesn't have to be, again, it doesn't have to be in order. So I'm going to use highs, 5, 7, 8, 9, 7, 8, 9, and then 4, 5, 6. And again, same thing as modulo lines. 3 consecutive cells have to have one of each. So this would have to be 1, 2, 3, repeat it, etc. Then last but not least, we've got the palindrome line, which reads the same forwards and backwards. So these 2 cells are going to be the same digit. These 2 cells are going to be the same digit. So you can kind of like imagine that you're mirroring it down this diagonal. Same is true in here. Now, they don't have to be the same. So they're independent lines. These 2 cells are the same. They could have entirely different digits in here and of course in there as well. All right, I feel like I muddled up this explanation, but it has confused me a bit with some of the wording. Link in the description down below. I will actually copy not the puzzles on description. I will probably copy the one on Logic Masters Germany, which was a bit clearer, it seemed. As always, for you to enjoy this abstract piece of art, or at least this Sudoku puzzle, link in the description down below for you to play. And with that said, I'm going to restart the clock and see how I get on. Right, where are we? So, kind of one point here. When you have 5 cells, the minimum is 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That means these 2 cells at the minimum have to add up to 15. I also know that these 2 cells at the maximum will add up to 17 with 8 and 9. So these are either adding up to 15 or 17. So I'm pretty sure that 1, 2, 3, and 4 have to be on there. Let me just think about the 4 actually. 1, 2, and 3 have to be on there. 1, 2, 3. That would be 6 with 5 and 6, as in no 4, does get me to 17. So it's only 1, 2, and 3. Now, regardless, it feels highly likely that this cell is... Hang on, I can do much better. German whisper line. Remember how I mentioned in the beginning and then totally ignored it now that they cannot have 5s on the German whisper line? Well, where's the 5 in row 3? Can only be in here. Now, yeah, so, sorry, quick diversion. So my options right now, so essentially I've got 1, 2, 3, and 5. I have another digit that is either 4 or 6. And obviously this could be 1, 2, or 3. Just ignore the fact that I just deleted all of these. So could this be a 6? And the answer to that is no. That would force a 1, and then I would break my 1, 2, 3 and up here. And obviously if I don't have a 1 there on the region sum line, the next set of digits 2, 3, 4, this is 9 and 11, that's 20. I'm not going to put 20 on 2 digits. So a long way of saying that this is definitely a low digit, and I am going to color this. So low, 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 low. These are going to be blues. I'm going to remove the colors in a second, otherwise this is just going to be an overwhelming amount of colors on the screen. Right, where can 4 go is the next question for row 3. Well, it has to be on the low digits, the ones that are colored blue. And if I put it anywhere in the middle, the 2 neighbors would have to be a double 9. They're the only ones 5 or more away. So this forces this to be 4, this has to be 9. These have to be 1, 2, 3 to get to a decent sum. If I remove any of these, so 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6, the absolute minimum I can make if I don't use 1, 2, 3 in here, would get me to, well, 10, 12, 18, and it would require a double 9 in here. Right, so we're on track now. Let's think about where can 6 go next. It can't be in either of these, otherwise we'd be surrounded by double 1. That's the only place for a 6, that's the only place for a 1. These are going to be 2 and 3. The 3 has to be next to a 9 and 8. And if I put the 3 in here, well, I can't put 8 and 9 next to it. So that's 3, that's 2, that's 8, and that's 7. 8 in here, now that I know that these two, this region sum line, this section sums up to 15, this section has to sum up to 15, and it's either 7, 8 or 6, 9. It is not 7, 8 because of this 8. 6, 9 in here means this is 6, 9. This was entropy, so I don't actually remember whether this is low, or sorry, medium or high, so we'll have to come back to that. Oh yeah, we can continue with the German whisper line. This has to be a 1 next to the 6. This, unfortunately, could be anything next to the 1. I mean, I say anything. It's 6, 7, 8, or 9. High chance, by the way, that this is high. And let me just check that. I am going to do a bit of coloring for a second. Yeah. So remember the entropic lines. Essentially, I have 4, 5, 6 as the middle digits, 7, 8, 9 as the high digits. Now, if this was 6, well, this would have to be from 4, 5, 6. This would have to be from 4, 5, 6. And it can only be 6 where it would conflict in row 4. So these are not 6s. That gives me a definite 9 in here. The palindrome bounces back and gives me a 9 there and a 6 there. This is not 9, and this is 7, 8. The fact that this is 1 might help me. So I don't know what these are. I mean, I do know what these are, but essentially they're going to be the same entropy. So it's either 1, 2, 3 or 4, 5, 6. The fact that I have 3 of them and 1 is not available, these have to be from 4, 5, 6. These have to be from 2 and 3. And a bit of Sudoku will quickly fix some of this up for me. Yeah, that's about it. Not sure I can do a lot more right now. Yeah, genuinely not sure I can do a lot more right now. So high, middle, low, can't be 2. This would have to be 1 or 3. This would have to be high. It is 7 or 8 because the 9 is in the same box. Now notice, if you remember, I said this RENBAN line has to have the digits 1 to 9 once each. This cell, well, whatever it is not in any of these. It has to be down there. So this is 1 or 3, and it's clearly not a 1. That's 3. That's 3. That is not 3. And we can do very little with this RENBAN, if I'm honest, other than just what we've deduced from it. The rest of it is essentially just Sudoku, really. Maybe the palindrome. Maybe the modulo 3. I've totally forgotten about this region sum line for some reason. It is a region sum line. Yes, it is. Yeah, that is 15. Right. I don't know how I missed it until now. So we have the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row. Sudoku says that's true. So that means that this row sums up to 45. You add up the digits 1, 2, 3, all the way up to 9, you get to 45. Now, this region is segmented into 3 sections. Section 1, Section 2, Section 3, and they all have to have equal sums. 45 divided by 3, they are all going to be 15. It also means these 2 cells are 15, and therefore this is 6, 7, 8, or 9. That is not 9, and therefore that is not 6. Just, again, Sudoku. What more can I do with this, though? It's kind of what I'm thinking. So essentially 2 cells that add up to 12 that are not 3, 9 to get to 15. So that could be 8, 4, and 7, 5. It's not really very useful, if I'm honest. We could do some things. So, right, so 2 is not in here. 2, if it joins the 3, would require a 10 to get to 15. So 2 has to be in here. Now I can use the same logic with the 1 in that it's not here. And if I try and place it in the same segment with the 2, that would only get me to 3, and then I would have a 12. So the 1 has to be in here. Then I need 2 cells that add up to 14 with the 1, and there's only 2 ways to do it in 2 cells. It's 5, 9, which it isn't, and 6, 8. So this is 1, 6, 8. The 8 now means that the 8, 4 option is gone. This is 7 and 5. And the remainder in here, which was 2, 4, and 9, does get to 16. That's not 2, sorry, 15. That's not 9. That 7 gave me an 8 in here, which gives me a 7 in there. And that 5 is removed from here. Not sure I can remove, oh, of course I can remove the 4. And I can remove the 6. This is quite a clever puzzle. I can understand now why it had a 95% rating. Sorry, psninn, I kind of doubted you for a bit when I kind of saw the slightly confusing rules. But it is definitely a fantastic puzzle so far. Right, Sudoku says 7 and 7 are actually 8s. Says this is 7. Don't have to complicate it, as I often seem to want to. This is 1, 8 or 9? No, not 9s. 1, 8 or 6. This is not 6 or 8. That's a 1. And this is 2, 4, and 9. Right, so palindrome again means this is 2, 4, or 9. Not very helpful for a modulo. And 6, 7, 8, again, not very helpful. So I'm going to do a bit of coloring here because maybe, yeah, these two are going to be the same modulus. So, right, I don't know what they are. I'm going to pick some random colors. Essentially, this digit is purple, then it will be green, then it'll be orange, and then back to a purple set, then green, then orange, and then back to a purple set, then green. Which also means, because they are groups of 3, have 3s of everything except the green. So this would have to be green. Right, so these two need to be from the same modular group. And unfortunately, I have options, like plenty. I could do 2 and 8, and then that would place a 5 in here. I could do 4 and 7, and that would place a 1 in here, which doesn't work. So 4 and 7 are out. No 4 here, no 7 here. Then the last option was 9 and 6, which would place a 3 in here, which is actually fine. So 2, 8, and 5 would make this not 8. 9 and 6 and 3 would make this not 9. Yeah, that's hardly enough. I made a mistake here with the colors, haven't I? This was meant to be green, and this was meant to be orange. How hard could it be to color 3 different lines? Purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple, green. Yeah, and then orange. We can keep this going, of course, this gravy train. So this is orange, this has to be purple, this has to be green. So if this is 3, remember from 3, 6, 9, this would have to be 6 or 9. If this is 5, well, 8 is not available. This would have to be 2, and I didn't say 5. It would be 6 or 9. So far, I'm not able to break it. I've removed the 4 from here, so that's not a 4 on that palindrome, but I really haven't moved the dial, so to speak. Can I do much with this orange? So let's think about this so far. I mean, it looks like I am going to have to do the hard work, basically, of figuring this out. So one option is this is 3, 9, and 6. and then this would be 7 or 8. If it's 7, I would have 1 and 4. Seems entirely doable. If it's 8, because it's not the 9, this would have to be from 2 and 5. This would be 2. This would be the 5. The 5 is never pointing at the orange. And orange in here can't be 5. So that can't be 8. I'm hoping that's reasonably clear. If orange is essentially modulo 2, then these 3 cells have to be 2, 5, and 8. And the 8 would immediately go in here because 2 and 5 are not options. And these 2 cells would become a 2, 5 pair, neither of which is 5. So that is not an 8. Okay. So if it is 3, 9, and 6, then these would be a 1, 4 pair. And this would be 2, 5, 8. And then specifically, this would be 8. This would be 5. This would be 2. 3, 9, 6 works. The other option, of course, is 5, 2, and 8 on purple. And then is 9 a valid option? It would mean 3, 6 in these. And that seems to be fine again. Is it? That would be 6. That would be 3. I'm not seeing the problem. I haven't colored this cell either. This cell would be orange, so I really should do something with orange here. Essentially, I've got 2 of them there. If it's 7, this is a 1, 4 pair, which I really don't see a problem with. If it's 9, it doesn't have to be a 1, 4 pair because obviously I can repeat the 7 in here. I was about to rule this out incorrectly because I would have said this is not 9, therefore it's a 3, 6 pair, and this doesn't work. But I don't think that's true, but actually, kind of. If that's 9, this is not 3 or 9, this would have to be 6. And then this is not 3 or 6, this would have to be 9. This would have to be 3. This is not 3 or 9, now it would have to be 6, and it breaks. Wow, that is hard to see. That's not 9, therefore that is 7. And this is therefore a 1, 4 pair, another 1, 4 pair. If I can actually just remember the colors for like more than 5 minutes. 1, 4. This is 4 or 7. And this is 1, 4 or 7. So we at least have 1 down of the colors. So that's modulo 1 sorted. Then we have 0 and 2. So let's think about possibilities. 3, 9, and 6 would make this 2, 5, and 8. And the 5 would have to be here. The 8 would have to be, no, it doesn't work. So if this is 2, 5, 8, well, 5s again are coming to the rescue and placing a 5 in here. And now I need to make one of these a 2, and neither of them can be. So I can't put 2, 5, 8 inside green, and therefore I have to put them in purple. 8, 2, 5, and therefore this is 2, yep, because 5 and 8 are gone. And now this is 3, 6, 9. 3 and 6 gives me 9. This can't be 3, that's 3, that's 6. This is not 6, not 9, that's 3. Now 7 was orange, 1, 4, 7. So that's 4. That's not 4. And 4 has given me 1. It's given me another 4 in here. This is 1 or 7. That 4 bounces back. That's a 2. This 2 on the palindrome bounces back and gives me another 2 in here. Oh, I've broken something. I was feeling pretty good about the deductions I've been making, so was it kind of color catching me out? Orange is 1, 4, 7, yeah. Purple is 2, 5, 8, yeah. Have I just miscolored them again? Orange, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple, green, orange. I don't know how I broke this. I'm going to rewind just a touch. This is definitely 15. This is definitely 15. This is definitely 15. These are 15. Could it be this line? What's this one again? High, medium, low, high, medium, low, high, medium, low, high. 9, 3, 8, 2, 7, 1, 6, 1. That's all looking good. 15, 15. 999 on the palindrome. 249 in here, not a 2. So yeah, I'm not getting how the 4 and 9 have broken this cell. What am I missing? I must have colored one of these incorrectly or jumped to the modulo too soon and I've ignored an option. So let's just double check again. If that's 7, orange would have to be 1 and 4. And there wasn't a problem with that. If it's 9, orange would have to be 3 and 6. And that's seemingly fine. This would be 9. So this would be 6. This would be 3. This would be 9. And this is not 6, not 3. It would be a second 9. So it really seems to be consistent that this is a 7. And therefore, this is a 1-4 pair. This is 4 or 7 because there's a 1 in a column. And this is 1, 4 or 7. Right, so 1, 4, 7, modulo 1, resolved. So back to this option. And the way that I've sort of solved it last time is essentially if green is 2, 5, 8, well, 2 and 5 would force an 8 in here. 5 in there, 2 in there. Actually seems fine. 8, 5 because it's not 2 or 8, and then 2 because it's not 5 or 8, and then not 2 or 5, another 8. So it actually seems fine this time round. I must have jumped to the wrong conclusion somewhere, or probably pointed at the wrong color once again. Right, so if this is 8, 2, and 5, then I have to hide 3, 6, and 9 in here. This would be 3 or 6. This would be 6 or 9. This would be 9. So that would be 9. That would be 6. That would be 3. And then this green one, well, it's not 9 or 6. It would be 3 again. Ho, ho, ho. Right. Both seem to be valid options so far. Given how easy the puzzle has been up to this point, I am almost certainly barking up the wrong tree. Almost certainly. And I need to be looking around for easier steps forward, if I can see them. You know, Sudoku, usually what I'm missing. So that's 7. That gives me another 6, 8. That's 6, 8 in column 8 as a pair. That forces this to be a 1. That's not a 1. This is 2 or 3. Interesting. Have I got more of these I just need to spot to make this easier? I'm enjoying the wrong turn, by the way. Like, immensely enjoying the wrong turn. So the last time, the way we got into trouble is if this is 2, this would be 9, this would be 2, and if this is 9 and this is 2, it doesn't have to be 4. So I made a kind of also a quick jump here, because essentially the 9 and the 2 would make this a 4. This could be a 7. I don't know why I made this a 4 last time round. 6, 8 pair means there's another 1, 2, and a 9 in here. The definite 9. 7 can't be any of these cells. That's a 7. This is 1, 4, and 5. Not a 1. These two cells are known. They are 8, 5, 4, 5, 8. Not 8, not 5. And then these cells are also known. They are 2, 3, and 9, I'm going to say, and not a 3. Gives me a 2, 9 pair in the column and a 4 in here. Not a 4, 7. Not 7, I mean, we got that as well. So 2, 9 pair, oh hang on, 9 pair, and then the 4 removes a 4 in here, and this is 5 or 8. Interesting. You know, I don't feel like this is the easiest path, and I've probably missed something once again. Probably one of these options is not working, and for one reason or another, my brain is just refusing to see it. So I'm going to do this one more time. Sorry. So 3, 9, and 6 would put 6 or 9 in here. Yeah, I'm not seeing a problem with any of that. And then it would put 8, 5, and 2, and 8 in here. And again, I'm not seeing a problem with that. Huh. 5 in here means that's not a 5. Gives me a 1, 4 pair, which places a 2. That's not 2. And then essentially I have another 6, 8, and a 7, which can only be in here. And this is 6 or 8. I'm guessing that if you guys can see what I'm not seeing, that this is probably a little bit frustrating watching me do this. So 6, 8 pair again means that there's another 2, 3, and I need one more digit, a 5. With 2 or 3. One, 3, 6. So I have another one from the quadruple. Plus a 4. Interesting. So if these are 9s, this would be 6 or 9. I'm not seeing the problem. Maybe I need to complete more of these pencil mark and then become a bit more apparent. I'm gonna do my cheat here where pencil mark is checking is on. Yeah, not missing anything. I'm just missing logic, not Sudoku. How are we doing for time? 26 minutes. So I guess I was kind of crossing my fingers for a slightly harder puzzle today. I think we found it. 2, 4, 5, 9 plus something else, a 3. So one of these is a 3. This is a 1, 4 pair. And then 2, 5, 6, 8, 9. So this is not 6 or 8. But it could be 2, 4, 5, or 9. This is too many options. This is not it. I've got to make this modular 3 line work a bit harder for me and spot how it's making this incorrect somehow. So 8, 2, 5, 2, 9, 4, 3, 6. So this cell would be a 6 in this scenario. Okay. 8, no, 6, 9, 3. That would be 9. That would be 2. That would be 9. That would be 6. And this would be 4 or 5. I kind of have a virtual 2 between these, don't I? Because one of these has to be a 2, doesn't it? So either 2, 5, or it's 2 and 8. So technically the 2 is essentially placed. You know, the way to think about this is I've got another color in here. So if this is 2 and 8, one of these two cells has to be 5, as in the green. And then I have to have another 1, 4, which is clearly not this cell. I could have 4 in here, or I could have 1 or 4 in there. And then purple, because the 3 with the 6, 9. I could either have a 6 in here or a 3, 9 in there. Yeah, I'm running out of ideas here. What about this one? So we need a third orange in row 8. Can't be these cells because essentially we're missing another 1 or 4. It would have to be one of these, which could be a 1 here, or a 4 here, or frankly a 1 here either. If it's purple, I mean, this seems to be definitely one of the partners. Okay, I'm now really struggling to see this. Just double checking that I haven't missed anything on any of the remaining lines. I'm going to say the answer to that is no. We really are just left with the modular line and this single palindrome line. So maybe it is time to color. These two are the same. So this cell is not here, it's not there. Can't be any of these. This cell and this cell are always the same. Bit tough to see, but purple 2, 9, where is it in this box? Well, it's none of these, and because this purple 2, 9 is the same one in here, it's none of these. And this is not 2 or 9, this is not 2 or 9. That's the only one that it can be, so that's not a 6. That is a 6. So can this be now 3, 9, and 6? I think the answer to that is yes. No. If it is 3, 9, that would be 2, and that would be 2 again. And essentially there will be no room to put a 5 anywhere. Is there? No. 4 and 5 are both here. So this does have to be 5. This does have to be 2. That is 9. That's 9. That's 2. That's 2. That's 8. That's 3. That's 6. And so far that is holding. That 9 gave me a 2 up here. 3, 9 pair. That's 3. That's 9. That's 4. That's 8. I'm just doing Sudoku now just to finish up, but I'm going to say I've almost certainly missed some kind of logic that would make this easier. That feels really hard to see for a 1-star difficulty rated puzzle. But wow. Oh, come on, don't get stuck now. Surely this is still resolvable. What am I doing? So again, these two cells are the same. This cell is neither that nor that, essentially. So that 1, 4 is going to have to be somewhere in here. It's not this cell because these are both 1 and 4. So I am tempted to color, just to make this a bit easier for me. This is blue, therefore this is red, red, blue. And it, blue would have to be one of these two, and then red would have to be one of these two. Can I do a 1-4 pair in here? I think the answer to that is yes. That would be 3. What? Something doesn't look right in column 7, is it? 1, 3, 6, 8. 3 has given me 1, 2, and 3. Thank you. Then I have 4 with 6, 8. So they can't be 1, 4 anymore. The only place for a 1 is in here. This is a 1, 9 pair. And this 8 has given me 6 and 8. This is, trust me to try and make this harder than it needs to be, 2 and 5. And this is 4, 6, or 8. How did I get that 8? Yeah, because this was 8, it gave me 6, it gave me 8. Which gives me 6, which gives me 8. And therefore this is 4, 6. And I actually know where the 6 goes. It's in here. That's 6. That's 4. That's 1, 1, 4, 4. And therefore 1, 9. I suspect coloring was not really needed. It's just sometimes these things are easier seeing. Hang on, what did I remove? 4 in here, not 1. So that's 4, 5, 1. This is 6 or 8 again. It's not 6, 8. You can tell when I'm recording late in the day. I mean, other than the fact that it's dark behind me, the other part is clearly that my brain has fully stopped. 3, this is 2 or 5. It is not 2 or 5 because that's 2 looking at a 2, 5. That's 2. This cell is just known, it's 9. And if I've not made any more mistakes, that's a 5 for the finish. It's a fantastic puzzle. I mean, overall, is 1 star. So I would agree with that as a rating. And potentially I've just missed some logic to try and unearth this a bit easier. You know, that 6 and being able to see that these two are the same was tough to put together, at least for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the puzzle and that you had a smoother solve than I did. Looking forward to reading your comments and see you back soon. Bye-bye for now.